Hi, welcome back to Essential Linux Administration. So we're looking at Unix and Linux administration. This is an oldie but a goodie. We'll be installing WordPress on an old Ubuntu 1804.4 system. So let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, I already have the WordPress, where that's what we're going to do, install WordPress, image ready for everybody. So let's go ahead and start that thing up. We're going to start that up. Let me bring that over to this window. And once this gets started up, we need to make the IP address 192.168.56.51 for this exercise. We also have to change our localhost records to reflect that wordpress.lab.lan is 192.168.56.51. So I'm going to go ahead and log in as student with a password of password. Okay, now I'm in. You can see the IP address here is 199. If you want to learn how to get rid of NetPlan, I've got another video on that. So you can go check that out and we can go back to the way things should be. All right. So let's go ahead and look at this. Let me change the view here and make this a little bit easier to fit in the screen. Oh, that's close, but not quite. So let me go back over, view, virtual screen. Let me make it, 125. That fits. Okay, that fits. Not exactly what I'm looking for, but that's okay. It's only going to last a minute. So right here, let's go ahead and do a sudo-s. We became root, and I'm going to do a vi etc network interfaces. And our network interfaces right here, we got 56.199. I'm going to change that to 56.51 right there. So after I make that change, I'll hit escape:WQ to get out of VI, which is like, there are only 3 commands you need to know for VI, so it's really easy. And after I do that, I'll reboot. Now, while this is rebooting, I'm going to go ahead and bring my system up. This is my physical host right here. And I'm going to add that wordpress.lab.lan to my, in fact, I'll just give them root, to my etc host file. So I'm going to do that. I'll just do an echo-e. Normally I go and I VI the file, but this time, because this is what I'm requiring for the exam, you can VI it if you want to. I'm going to do an echo-e, and that's going to be 192.168.56.51 right there is going to be wordpress.lab.lan. Oops, right there. Yeah, that's right. Now let's pop that over. Remember, 2 greater thans over to etc hosts. And now I'll grep word and etc hosts just to be sure it's there. And it's there. So now, hopefully, I can ping that 192.168.56.51. All right, can't ping it. Let's check it out. So we're going to pop over and look at that machine. Did it get the new IP address? Let's log in as student. Password. Well, it says it did. So let's look at that and more in depth. 192.168.56.51. Yes, yes, yes. Ping 192.168.56.1, I think, is me. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I don't know why I couldn't get over there. Let's ping it again. I wonder if I got ping disabled. Oh, no, there it is. Maybe it just took a little while for the ARP cache to update. But in any case, we can get to it now. So I'm going to go ahead and do my SSH copy ID. And I'm going to use one of my IDs here in my local box. And I'll just do regular RSA on this one. And we'll pop that over at student at 192.168.56.51. Copy that over. Password is password. All right, now if I want to check it out, I should be able to go SSH student at 192.168.56.51. If you're wondering where I get the 192.168.56.51, that is the host-only network for VirtualBox. So that's where we're getting that. So let's go on ahead and let's try to ping out here. We'll go ping www.yahoo.com. I can't ping out, so I'm going to do a route-n. You can see my gateway is defined, but this is a glitch inside of VirtualBox, so watch out for this. Inside of VirtualBox, you will probably need to go back over to the machine, go to settings, and just go to network and select on adapter 2 NAT network there and choose allow all there. Now that's a glitch. NAT is supposed to give you network access. It should just work fine, but there is a problem right now, and I hope they resolve it soon. So I'm going to ping this. We'll see if I'm able to get out. I'll do a simple DH client, ETH1, and then I'll ping again. Ping 4.222. Good, got that. Now ping www.yahoo.com. There we go. Okay, everything is working as it should be. And remember, you may have to change that interface over. It's really annoying, but you know, there you go, right? Okay, so we've done that. Let's go ahead and we're going to follow directions for installing WordPress on this machine. So a couple things we need to do is we'll have to go through and grab all of the Apache server, PHP, MySQL, MySQL, and we'll need to download WordPress. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so you can see I pulled up the Pastebin article here. Pastebin notes I made for doing this whole thing. And you can see my little options there where I go through and do different things, and I can ping WordPress, so we can try that, but that's inside the machine. So let's go ahead and do that inside the machine. Over the virtual machine, we did this on our host already, so I'll do a VI etc hosts, and we'll go ahead and do an open, and I'll do that 192.168.56.51, oops, 51, wordpress.lab.lan, just like that. Now that I've got that, I'll ping wordpress.lab.lan, and you can see it pings just fine from there. If I open a new window from my local machine, it should also work from there. WordPress, yes, wordpress.lab.lan, just like that. There you go. You can see both of those work just fine. All right, getting back over to the installation, I'm going to bring up this script right here where it says apt-get install all of these little utilities right there. Let's grab those, copy that, and we're just going to paste that right in, just like that. We're going to let that install. If you need to do an apt-get update, do that first, but I'm just going to let these install right now. Now, after that's done, I will be installing MySQL separately. So over here, I will be choosing this apt-get install for the MySQL server. This is an old version of the MySQL server, so it works with this installation really well. Let's go ahead and see if this works. I'm going to grab that, press enter. It's going to pull down MySQL, and it will ask us to create a root password. So as it's going through, it's going to pop up and say, hey, do you want to create a root password? Or what's the root password really is what it's going to say. And we're going to say nothing. The root password is blank. We're going to leave the root password completely blank. We're not going to put anything there. It's taking its sweet old time, but I'm sure it'll be there sometime in the near future. Okay, well, it didn't come up. So let's see if I can get to MySQL. I can. So there we go. All right. So I've got to that point. And let me go over here. We're next going to create this WordPress database, and we are going to need to download WordPress from the internet. And we'll see which version works well for us. So over here, this create database. Let's pop into MySQL. We'll create a database right there. Fantastic. The next line, which of course I'm just copying and pasting this because I've typed it several times. So grant all on WordPress.star to SQL_user at localhost, identified by password. So we're saying both create the user and assign the password to the WordPress database. And after we do that, that right there was at localhost. And if you want to just really open this thing up, we'll say, yeah, do it everywhere, right? We want it everywhere. Make that happen. So now we've got that done. This should be all we need for the SQL portion. So let's drop on down. We're going to go over to var www.html, and we're going to grab WordPress right there. So let's pop back over, and I'll just hit quit right there. var .html. Index.html is there. I'm going to get rid of that. Get rid of that index.html. And I'm going to go ahead and do the curl. So we're going to grab that latest image of WordPress there. So now we've got the latest.tar.gz, which that's April 27, 2025. And we're going to untar that. So we're going to say tar xdcf, latest tar.gz, like that. And history, if you want to see my history right there of what I've done so far, right there. Okay. So now we've got this in here. It created a directory WordPress, which is absolutely correct because we've got var www html, and we got that WordPress there. And let's go into WordPress, and inside of WordPress, sure enough, we got a whole bunch of stuff. So let's move on down. What do we need to do? We're going to need to do an HT access on here. So we'll go ahead and do this for the fun of it. I don't think we need that, but oh, oops, there. I'm in the WordPress directory. There, click. That way, I don't have to be in the WordPress directory. So I did that. I'm going to copy this over right there for the configuration file. That's our config sample. We're making that the actual config file. We'll go ahead and make a directory for upgrades. Oops, wrong one. Make a directory for upgrades. That's under WordPress again. And then over here, we're going to give permissions. Now this over here is, we're going to do this data. That's changing the ownership over to www-data. So that's one of our users for when we installed Apache over there. So let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and look for any directories there. And if we find a directory, we're going to make sure that everyone has executable access. And executable access means directory traversal in Linux when you're doing directories. And then we'll go over here and we'll do for any of the files, we give read-write access there. Bam, just like that. So go through and find those files. Well, that went really well. So let's see if that works. Let's check out this WordPress config. And over here for our user, in fact, we'll just look at this and see how it looks. Let's pop in. All right, so there we go. Yep, we have the database name here. We have to put the database. We called it WordPress, so we'll do WordPress like that. The user name here, which we did SQL_user, I'm pretty sure. Password is password, and localhost is just fine, actually. So that should be it. I don't think we need to do anything else. So that should be good to go. So we'll save that right there. And let's carry on. Which is interesting because this is a really old server, and I'm very interested to see how well this works. This new version of WordPress on an old 1804 Ubuntu server. So we're going to go over to Apache 2 sites enabled vhost. So let's go over blip. I'm actually going to go to VI. Well, we can do it. CD etc Apache 2 sites available right there. So I'm going to sites available just because. I'm going to do VI vhosts.conf like that. Insert. I'm going to paste that in there. Yeah, I didn't pay attention to all the tabbing there, so the indentions are all off. There we go. All right, that's the way it's supposed to work. Blip, just like that. Now we can do an ln-s, and we have this whole path, the etc Apache 2 sites available vhost, and we can do etc Apache 2 sites enabled like that. Now, if we look in etc Apache 2 sites enabled, you'll see that we've got vhost that are being carried over right there. So, all right, kind of interesting. We got that going for us now. And then over here, we've got a index.html in the main site that we're going to make this just Labland web hosting. So let's go over to CD. Nothing's really in there, so I'm going to do a vi index.html. Inside the index.html, I'm going to go ahead and paste that in there. Tabbing. The index, there. And there, okay, there we go. I've got my indentions going on. So we've got that there. Let's go ahead and save that. So good to go, right? So on that one, we should be fine. What else do we have going on? It says that we want to start Apache 2 and MySQL, but I really don't think we need to. But I put it in there, so I might as well do it. So there we go. So now we've got that done. And I'm going to bring up the other page. All right, to bring this up, I'm going to go ahead and type http:// and this is going to be wordpress.lab.lan. So I'll see if that works. Yeah, look at that. We've got wordpress.lab.lan. I'm going to choose English on this one. And I bet there's a continue. There it is down there. The site title is, we'll say, the Expat Professor's WordPress site. WordPress site there. This username here, we'll just say admin. It's going to be a really, really secure user there. Password is going to be password. It's going to freak out. Confirmed use of weak password. My email, admin at, Cybernails. We'll just do that. That goes nowhere. Discourage search engines from indexing. No, I don't care. And we'll just say install WordPress. Now this stuff right here, you need to not forget that. So let's go ahead and choose login, admin, password. And now here we are. Well, welcome to the WordPress site. At this point, we can go through and you can play with your appearance. You can change whatever you want to change. This looks actually pretty nice right there. We can add some themes. We'll activate that, make that. Visit that site. Yeah, looks nice. We got a sample site there now. We can go ahead and create a. I think we just need to create a new post. This is a new post. Newness. There we go. All right. Publish. Yep, everything's public. Yes, we checked that really. And WordPress Lab LAN index. Everything is looking great. So that is blip. Oops. Put that back up there. This is it. That's our little new post. Go over to the site. This is our site. So that is WordPress. I hope that this was informational, that it helps out. And if you need anything, contact me at any time. Or, of course, use AI. Find a solution via AI because it seems to be doing a great job these days. Have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you again soon.